So I've been discussing with so many foreign trained dentists who want to immigrate to Canada and maybe work as a dentist here or just start a new life. This one video is kind of the counseling that I provide to so many foreign trained dentists who get in touch with me, who really need my advice or just want to know how I did this process. So I kind of run this presentation for them. This time I decided to put it on YouTube to help as many foreign trained dentists as possible. Maybe you are in your home country, maybe you are already in Canada, or you are in process of your immigration. If you want to know how to immigrate to Canada as a foreign trained dentist from B.D.S to D.D.S or from B.D.S to Canada, then what would be your journey? What should you expect? I have outlined everything in this one video. So hang tight, it's a little longer video, but after this video, you might not have any questions in your mind. Hi, this is Sam from Teachodontist. I am a foreign trained dentist from India, and now I'm in Canada as a citizen. I am in final year, last year of my Doctor of Dental Surgery program at Dalhousie University. And I also have this YouTube channel, some other courses which are listed right here, or you can see links in the description. I also help foreign trained dentists to find their path and their passion in Canada, in dentistry or in any other field. So here on screen, you see that I have divided this entire process of immigrating to Canada into these 6 steps. And the first few steps are actually the most important steps. So the number one step is going to be the decision to immigrate. Second step is going to be comparing the priority of being a dentist versus priority of immigration overall. Number 3 is going to be your timeline. How long would it take to finally reach your destination in any of the pathway, which I'll show you. In each pathway, how long does it take to reach to your destination? Number 4 is going to be the alternative pathways, which I have made tons of videos on, but I'll give you a summary in this one video again. And number 5 is going to be your final assessment, just to go over everything we discussed, so that when you leave this video at step number 6, you might have made up your mind for one of the pathways, or is this a right journey for you at all? Would you really want to continue this path, or there are more options available for you? So I'll cover all that information and much more in this video right after this intro. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying in this video. I am going to talk about everything, but before that, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that, and put a like thumb icon on this video so that YouTube can show this to other foreign trained dentists who are right now Googling on YouTube how to become a dentist in Canada. So this would help them to put that video on top priority list, and I'm putting a lot of effort into this. So please subscribe to this channel, share with a friend who is in the same journey of immigration to Canada. And lastly, there's a linktree link right here on the screen, as well as in the description below. Just click on that link to see all other courses that I offer on Skillshare, on Udemy, and on the DSTC, which is a famous dental training institute in Canada. So make sure you check out all those courses. Let's jump into how to immigrate to Canada from B.D.S to Canada right now. So number 1 step is going to be decision to immigrate. Now this is where you are going to decide, why are you thinking about immigration? What is happening in your mind, in your life, in your surrounding right now, which is inspiring you to immigrate? So I have a few questions for you. Take your time. You can pause this video at any point and just think of these questions, or the best way is to write these answers down on a piece of paper, because when we are thinking, we can just have random thoughts and they will disappear a minute after this. But if you write something down, that exact thought process will be on the paper, so that once you finish this video, you will come back to those few things and you'll be like, you know what, I think this guy was right. So I'm hoping for that kind of aha learning moment or realization for you. So first is, how well are you doing currently at a personal level? Your personal level can include so many things, such as you go out, you travel, and you are able to afford a few things, and you are able to find peace and have a good schedule and have a good social life, and everything around you is working in your way. Overall, are you happy or you're frustrated? Are you in a safe place or you're not in a safe place? Second is how well you are doing socially. Do you have enough respect and enough social circle around you, social support around you, that you find that you are in a good space right now? If you are not, then that's a very good way to find out that, okay, I need to move out of this place, because this social structure around me, I won't say it sucks. I would say it's not meant for a personality like mine. So I might want to explore a different option. Third is financially. How are you doing financially as a foreign trained dentist right now in your home country? I was from India, so I could say that I was not doing too good. I was able to pay my bills, but that's just one part, right? So how are you doing financially? What do you think is your financial goal? Where do you see yourself, like, on the financial scale in 5 years, if you keep doing your practice or dentistry career back home versus if you do it somewhere else? A few things that you really wish you could do on everyday basis. What are those few things? If I go back to my first research of Canada and Nova Scotia, then all I was looking for is beaches around me. I wanted a nice clean water, nice air, like places to go, trails to visit, I wanted a place where I could have some beach life, some mountain life. I could have every kind of all kind of different seasons around me. So those things really inspired me and narrowed down my search all the way to Nova Scotia, which I was too excited at that time, right? So what do you think? What are the things that you really wish to do on everyday basis? If you are thinking that I wish there were more amusement parks around me, trust me, you just go to those amusement parks once a year, even if it's in your hometown. Like if I was living in Toronto, probably I would go to Canada Wonderland once, maybe throughout my 5-10 years of living in there, because that's not something you would go every time. It's good to explore, good to visit once. But when I'm saying I love beaches, I go to beaches every freaking weekend, as well as on any evening after work. So I am crazy about beaches. Hence I have to stay to a place where I would find a good coast, where I have activities like surfing or swimming around me. What is your everyday wish? Something that you really like to do every day? Write it down. Once again, if you keep it in your mind, you might skip it. Just put a pause button and write that thing down and press the pause again and pause the video. Number 5 is going to be what are some things that you enjoy the most in your current life? So let's not discredit this amazing life you have right now. If you successfully became a dentist, if you graduated from the program or about to graduate from the dentistry program, you are among the top percentile people who are lucky enough to have the luxury of education, are able to afford that education, have skills to learn, and there are so many things that you're blessed with. So let's not discredit all those things. Write down a list of all the things that you are really happy with, you really enjoy in your current life, because later on, when you won't have all those things around you, how much are you going to miss your home country as well as your own career? For example, if you move to Canada and you are seeing minus 20 degrees temperature somewhere, while you really love your home country, home city's weather, and it's not comparable at all. Minus 20 versus 25 degrees, that is not even comparable. So how much do you enjoy your current scenario, whatever it is? It may be your something that you enjoy as a hobby, like you have a nice tennis club, a cricket club, something that you go all the time, nice sports circle, or maybe a recreational hobby, maybe a small social group, a community. Some girls would say, I have a fantastic kitty party group of all female dentists and stuff like that. If you have that kind of circle, then write it down and say that this is something I really don't want to miss, or I wish I would have the similar thing wherever I would move. So writing it down will help you narrow down your search when you are going to immigrate. And the last point in this decision to immigrate list is, what would you trade from the above for anything else? And if yes, what would that be? I'm giving you the same example. If you have a nice climate in your home city and you are enjoying weather of 20 to 25 degrees, maybe 30 degrees, and you are saying that my city offers the perfect all seasons, then are you able to trade off that all seasons with the Canada's cold? Or is that something that's not acceptable for you at all? Are you able to give up your dentistry? You enjoy your dentistry or your private practice where you have so many assistants and so many people working for you and you are the boss. Are you able to give up on all those and start from scratch? Are you able to give up your home and your comfort around you, your maids, and so many luxuries that you probably have? I don't know if you have or not. I'm just guessing that all those things, are you able to give those up for a certain amount of years to start a new life in Canada? These are the things that you have to really write down on paper, because these are very preliminary things right now. Later on, we'll talk about dentistry and path towards dentistry and so many more things. But these are the basic fundamental things that you might need in your life. And this decision to immigrate just because of having a better dentistry career somewhere else might make you deprived of all these nice things. So relax, take a step back and write down all these things. And then we will move on to our next points. Your personal reasons to immigrate. What is something that you really feel inside you, which inspired you to click on this video, watch this video, and maybe think about immigrating to Canada eventually and become a dentist here? What was that first reason that you thought of? I want you to first talk about your personal reasons, because, hey, we are not a dentist. We are a human being. We are ourselves. We have our own identity. We have so many characteristics and choices and motivations in our own self. Dentistry is just one of them, right? So let's not make everything for money and dentistry and career. Let's take a step back and think about at personal level. What is the reason you want to immigrate? Then I want you to look at your financial and academic reasons. This comes very commonly. Some students are like, I just did my B.D.S from India, a bachelor's in dental surgery degree, or some other country, and now I want to do a post-graduation. I want to study something else. Either I go do MDS, which is Masters of Dental Surgery in certain discipline, or I do some kind of other programs like MHA and stuff, or I'd rather go to Canada and study there, either dentistry or something else. So those are academic reasons. You really want to learn, you really want to upgrade your education, you want to gain more knowledge, you want to explore more education out there. So that could be in India or that could be in Canada. Whatever that reason is, whatever you have it in your mind, write that thing down. And financial reason as well. But right now I'm just making this much money. I really wish I could make that much money because I have certain lifestyle and I cannot afford that lifestyle with this much money. Hence I need that much money. So if that is a reason, write it down on a piece of paper so that you have financial and academic reasons written down clearly. Then the social and cultural reasons. So how I talked about, there could be so many social ties you have with your home country, your home city, your home, that you might be ready to break, cut, and just fly straight to Canada. What are those ties which you might really miss, or what is the reason for which you really want to immigrate, that, you know what, I'm done with this all, I just want to go out from this place. Maybe there's some drama, maybe it's not, but there must be some reason, so write that down. Number 4 is government, health and education, etc. When I say etc., it includes like police service, safety, and like how the government works and everything. I'll give you my example. I was always frustrated with any work that I had to do with government. So I was always like, oh, why do I have to ask these people and beg in front of them or pay them money to do something that they should do by themselves or on their own, right? So I was always frustrated with those things. But then there's also healthcare. What do you feel about healthcare in your home country? Are you happy with it? Are you happy with the service that you're receiving? Do you know about healthcare in Canada? It's a public healthcare. It's free for all, but there is crazy wait times. You might end up waiting for certain procedure for months to years. You might end up in emergency and nobody's ready to see you for 6 to 7 hours if it's not a true emergency. There's another video I'm making on that thing, which is why immigrants think Canada's healthcare system sucks, but why it actually doesn't suck so much. But that is for next topic. Right now, education. Most of the public schools are free. All public schools are free, and there are very few private schools which you really don't have to put your children, if you have child or children, then they don't need to go to a private school. So public school systems are amazing. And is that one of the reasons that you want to immigrate to Canada? So write all those things down. What are the reasons with respect to government, healthcare, education, police, safety, government, overall organization and administration of your country? What is something that you are really upset with, which is motivating you to move to Canada? And lastly, ask yourself now that should you immigrate? Is there valid enough reason? Are these reasons reasonable enough to justify your own self? I'm not asking you to justify to your parents or justify to your spouse or justify to your friends. Justify your own self and say that this is way too big for me. No, I don't want to do this. I rather want to go to a different place and explore a new way of governance or new way of lifestyle or new way of doing things. So if you have that kind of questions, that kind of concerns in you, and you are really looking for a different place, then write those things down and tell yourself, should you immigrate? If the answer is yes, I'll see you to the next part of this video. So number 2 is going to be dentistry versus immigration, because this video is more focused for foreign trained dentists, and that's the kind of niche I always speak with. But that could be any of the profession. Like for example, if you're a doctor and you are thinking about immigrating, then you might have to follow the same kind of questionnaire to answer yourself to justify that why do you want to immigrate to a different country. But once you decide, I want to speak with people who are foreign trained dentists thinking about practicing dentistry in Canada, what is going to be number 2, dentistry versus immigration? So there are 4 pathways for you towards dentistry in Canada. Okay, so I'm going to break each of those pathway down, and that is going to answer questions for most of you. I do these kind of sessions as at one-on-one basis, and I tell all these kind of paths and all these processes and timeline, and I'll charge a couple $100 for a 30-minute session. But in this YouTube video, I'm giving it for free so that more and more students are aware of it. Less and less people will go to those so-called consultant agents who will actually just do this paperwork for you and ask you for money and just give you a wrong advice or something which is not custom made for you. So I'm empowering you with all this information so that you can make a good decision for yourself. So 4 pathways for dentistry. Number 1 is study visa. This is, I think, the most straightforward, easy way of doing something which is more focused on immigration than dentistry. So in this pathway, I'm keeping immigration up here and dentistry way below here. Why am I doing that? Because in study pathway, you are going to come to Canada as a student. For that, you will have to give IELTS exam, which is going to be academic. If it's a master's program, then you might have to give GRE, GMAT or some other exam. If it's a college program, then IELTS, IELTS or TOEFL is more than enough for as an English language assessment exam. Once you do that, you will apply to certain programs. It can be 1 year or 2 year program. It's a very pretty straightforward rule since a long time. 1 year gives you 1 year of postgraduate work permit. 2 year program of study gives you 3 years of postgraduate work permit. In many provinces, after you graduate, if you find a job within 6 to 1 year of working in that job in your niche, you will be able to get apply for permanent residence. It does not happen in Ontario so much. It does not happen in British Columbia so much, but there, especially in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, Newfoundland, these are the provinces under Atlantic pilot program. So that's pretty easy in these provinces. Then it's also working great in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, also in Alberta in some cases, but in other provinces, you might need to reconsider where you're living or where you're working in order to get your PR. Long story short, this is a very good pathway if you are ready to give up dentistry for the next 3 to 4 years. Start a new career, study a new career. Some people would say that I want to study dental hygiene because I want to stay in dentistry. Then if your dental hygiene program offers you a postgraduate work permit, only then you can study dental hygiene and follow the same process. If not, then that's not a good idea. Also, there is dental assistant program, which is 1 year program, which actually offers you 1 year of postgraduate work permit. And if you get a job and a dentist is ready to write it down for you that, yes, this is a full-time job and they did post this ad and nobody else was eligible enough for this job, so you got hired in fair means, then probably you can apply for permanent residence as a dental assistant as well. Saying all that, after you do all these things, if you find a job, you are a permanent resident in 3 to 4 years of time. Once you have a stable life, you can think about starting your license to practice dentistry in Canada process. So that might take time. And I'm the one with this route. So I know this route is not easy, but that route is for someone who value immigration or living in Canada more than dentistry. Moving on to the next pathway, which is express entry pathway. So if you have a master's degree from your home country, if you have good IELTS score, and if your age comes under that certain limit, which is very important for the express entry, which has to be under 38 years, I believe under 38, then, and the younger you are, the more points you get. So after 38, I think you are just out of the express entry pool. But if you apply to express entry from your home country, just keep your profile in there. Even if you do not meet the score, keep your profile in there. Some people get an additional provincial nomination program to that express entry, even if your score is like 450 and the current score they want is 520 up. Some province might find your skill matching to their requirement, or they are too desperate that they can have you at any cost at all. So they will accept you kind of thing. So make your express entry profile and wait on it. Maybe in 1, 2, 3, 5 years, or maybe never, your profile may be accepted and you might get a PR while sitting at home. Many people have got it, hence it's a good route. Once you do that, you come to Canada and then you start your process of becoming a dentist here. So it's more straightforward, more cheaper, more easier option, but it is available, but not for everyone. Number 3 is provincial nomination program. So there are some provinces who are really looking for people, not just dentist people. Like we really need skilled people who can come here and start working in different jobs. They're not looking for dentists, just so you know. Even though you have those fancy dentistry degrees, you are not immigrating to Canada to become a dentist here. They are not inviting you to Canada so that you can work as a dentist here. That is a very incorrect assumption because dentist is not part of skills requirement in Canada. They have clearly posted everything on their website. So let's not give ourselves false hope. They do not want to bring you to a province and make you a dentist there so that you can serve that population. You have to go through the same process how every single dentist in this entire country is going through. So you might get lucky as a provincial nomination program. They might invite you to apply for PR through them, and that would just solve so many problems for you. So you will become a resident of that province and hence a permanent resident of Canada. So that would be number 4. Once you get your PR, then of course dentistry is the path for you. I will go in detail of still how would you do that. The timeline is going to be our next step, but right now I'm covering all different pathways. Number 4 is a very secretive pathway which some people are very good at and they have done it and they would vouch for it, while other people have been frustrated with this pathway. I personally have seen more frustrated people than successful people, but it is there and I'm going to give you that information that it's a visitor visa status. Say you apply for a visitor visa and you get your visitor visa status. Now you have 10 years of visitor visa to visit Canada, come back and go all the time. This is going to help you a lot. Now you can study for all the dentistry exams sitting in your own house or your own private practice. At your private practice, you can just mount a teachodont head on your dental chair and start practicing all the clinical skills exam. And like, it is so much cheaper for you. It is so efficient for you that in the morning and afternoon you are practicing, but in the evening when you have a couple hours free, you are practicing all the clinical skills. So you can write all these exams, you can get all the guidance, but to write the exams or to do the clinical part or ACJ, which is judgment part, and AFK, which is assessment of fundamental knowledge part, you will have to come to Canada. So you need that visa in advance if you are planning this pathway. Do not start studying for exams or apply for everything if you do not have a visitor visa and no other visa status. That is a waste. That is just waste of effort. That is waste of money. That is waste of your own personal energy. First obtain one of the visa, either study visa, visitor visa, or permanent residence, and only then start your process. So if you get your visitor visa, then you can join some classes. DSCC is one, Prep Doctors is one, Confi Dentist is one other one. There are so many other classes around here, and Scholars Dental is online. There are many online resources available. I teach online situation judgment course. The link is down below. With DSTC, I also teach interview prep courses for universities. There are so many resources available online, and these are things that I teach online. So there are many resources available online for you. Even for clinical skills, you can actually work in your home country, take pictures, videos, and send it to instructors in Canada, and they will give you feedback. They will let you know how to do better or give you pictures of something that can be improved upon. And for some of you guys, you can actually do very well if you stay to your home country. You don't have to struggle. There's no financial or frustration involved in any other aspect. So this is a pathway which is only successful for limited people, but yes, it is there. So I give you these 4 pathways: study visa, express entry, PNP program, and number 4th is visitor visa status. But the question that many students ask me all the time is, what if I only want to do dentistry and nothing else? What if this entire thing that you said, Sam, that's great, but I only want to do dentistry. If no dentistry, then nothing else. Then my answer is, it's not a good thing. It's not a good attitude to keep in your mind right now. Dentistry versus immigration, as I said, you have to pick one at a time. If immigration is your focus right now, focus on that and be happy with that. Then later on, dentistry can come in picture. If dentistry only is your priority, then stick to dentistry in your home country while getting a visitor visa status for Canada and giving all these exams and just traveling to and fro. I know it's going to be expensive. Every time you are going to spend $2,000 for your airfare, few $100s for staying, then exam fees is like over $30,000 for all different exams. Yes, you will be spending all this money, but at least you'll be at home. You will not risk your career. You will not risk any your mental peace and stuff by immigrating to a new place. So just know this thing, that if you want to stick with dentistry, then there has to be dentistry only. But if you want to do immigration, then dentistry might need to be kept aside. So I have things for you. If you want to stay with dentistry, just know that you do not need to keep your expectations high. Keep them low. It may not happen. This is one of the top career or profession in Canada. So it's not possible that everyone will become a dentist in Canada. If you are lucky, if you worked hard, if you have perseverance and you have stayed in this track for so long, you're not ready to give up, eventually you'll become a dentist. But it's not something for everybody. Then DDS versus direct licensing is another big thing. Some students who I'm advising would say, I want to do DDS only. I'm not ready to do direct licensing. Breaking news, it is not a choice. It is a matter of luck that you get into a DDS program. I use the word luck because I got into a DDS program by sheer luck. There are so many people who are more skilled, more qualified, more intelligent than me who could not get into the university while I got in at that time. So there could be luck factor as well. So you may never do a DDS from a Canadian university. You might have to go to a direct licensing pathway. It is a long process. There is a lot of money involved. There is a lot of time involved. Be ready for disappointment that you may never become a dentist here after spending a lot of money. I'm speaking $100,000, which is in India, it could be like almost 60 lakh rupees. So it is a lot of money for most of us, right? So you may never become a dentist. If immigration is going to be your priority, then you must not be motivated by dentistry only. The reason for your immigration is not to become a dentist in Canada. Think of other reasons for immigration, excluding dentistry completely. Think of alternative careers that you might enjoy and that you might want to choose once you move here, and evaluate the pros and cons of your home country with your destination country, which is very important because once you move here, you start bitching about Canada and say that, oh, this is horrible, oh, that is bad, oh, this is disgusting, my country was so much better, and all these things. Then you should have thought about it before you made such a big decision. As a dentist, I believe you are a very, very smart person. You are smarter than so many people around you. And you have this amazing YouTube channels in front of you, which are happy to offer you all these information. Then nothing should come as a surprise to you. So if you show up here in Canada and you say that healthcare sucks, there are big wait times, my country was way better, and that's why I hate Canada, I think you should have thought about this way before starting your immigration process. And hey, I give you all the resources right here. That was my number 2 step, which was dentistry versus immigration decision. I hope you are doing okay so far. You have all the questions in your brain, but before that, if you have not liked this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And also check out my Linktree link down there, where I have offered so many services and so many courses to help foreign trained dentists as well as other professionals in Canada and across the world. So make sure you check that out. Going to number 3, timeline. And I know probably you are watching this video for this one piece of information. So right here, it is there for you. pick your path, pick your plan, and then you have the timeline for it. There are 3 plans overall. First one is timeline for PR landed immigrants. Number 2 is timeline for study visa and PR process people. Number 3 is for the secret path I told you about, visitor visa holders giving exam from their home country. How would everything work for you? It is so confusing. There are so many paths. How would all this work for you? Let's try to break it down one step at a time. Are you ready? Let's start with the first one, which is PR, people who are landing here as immigrants. So PR includes express entry as well as provincial nomination program, as well as a combination of both. If you have express entry plus you got nominated, either ways, how is everything going to work out for you? First step is you are going to land in Canada. You will take some time to get settled, find a few survival jobs. I don't know how much money you'll bring with yourself. Some people do bring a lot of money, a lot of cash, so they can find good apartments, they can have a car, they give license for the driver's license exam here, pass the driver license, get settled down, and after that you start thinking, hey, I should start my dentistry exams now. So it might take you from 2 months to 6 months to get started with your dentistry exams right away. Good news is there are some options available for you to get a line of credit from different banks, including CIBC, RBC, Scotiabank, as well as some private lending services which may offer you credit off from $20,000 all the way to $60,000 for the first couple exams and up to $100,000 for the next few exams. Literally, this is the education loan or the line of credit that you are getting just by applying for it. I'm not saying everybody would get it, but there are many people who have benefited from this one. There's no eligibility, there's no criteria. If you meet certain requirements, you will get that kind of line of credit. And if you do that, then you can pay for all those exams with that line of credit. It's some loan that you're taking from that bank or financial institute, so you have to give it back. So it is actually just going to ease the burden from you that you don't have to bring so much cash from your home country for the exams as well. So at least some of the parts can be paid from this loan, while some other stuff can be paid from your jobs, the survival jobs or anything else you're doing. It is always recommended that for the first couple exams, you should not work. The more time and energy you put into this exam only, the better you do, because that's what most of the students are doing. So you will find that you will end up using these education loans and line of credit for this exam purpose. So there's no problem in that. You will pay it off once you become a dentist. So do not hesitate in taking that education loan. So that's my first step, survival jobs, and then getting started with exam prep. You can give yourself 3 to 6 months to settle down before you start that. Once you start the exam prep, your first exam is going to be AFK. And also I would suggest that you give ADAT, which is accepted by University of Toronto and McGill for the D.D.S. DMD programs. And also give INBDE because, hey, you know what? Maybe Canada is not meant for you. Maybe you might get a better luck in USA. So while you are here, give that exam as well. Once you give all these exams, you pass your AFK and everything, either you go to the DDS route or you go to the direct licensing route. If you pass AFK and you think that direct licensing is working better for you, give ACJ and NDECC, which is a combination of situational judgment as well as clinical skills exam. You pass that exam, you give OSCE like all other foreign trained dentists as well as Canadian dentists. We all give this exam that is towards the end of this entire process. I would give it after my DDS program. You will give towards the end of the licensing process, and we all will become dentists eventually. So hence I have written up here, live happily ever after as a dentist. But I have also given you another option here that maybe nothing worked out. Maybe the right licensing path, maybe DDS DMD path in Canada, maybe DDS DMD in USA, or anything else did not work out for you. Then whatever career you will choose, you can have a very good, very nice life here in Canada. So don't get disheartened. Do not keep this as a negative option in your mind that, what if I don't become a dentist in Canada? This is such a waste. Everything is a waste. No, it's not a waste. It's just a new start to life. Enjoy that as much as you can. Do not be discouraged or do not depend your entire life on this one dentistry exam, because it is not easy. Many people are failing in this exam over and over again. So overall, I'm giving this entire process from 1 year to 3 years of time. I think that's a good consideration, given that 1 to 3 year, you may be able to have a final decision. Are you in this process or you are out of it? Just so you know, NDECC exam has unlimited attempts. So you can give as many times as possible unless you give up yourself. So that's all for people who are landing as permanent residents. Let's talk about those who are going through study visa and applying for PR process. How is their timeline? So you land into Canada and you give your 100% to your studies. Whatever career you picked, whatever program you have taken, please do not keep it as your secondary or tertiary option. Like, this is a very big thing. You are getting another chance in your life to come to Canada, study a program in a Canadian school and acquire a new skill and try a new career. Do not think of it as a low grade or demotion. Rather think of it as a new chance, new opportunity. So I would give my 100% to these studies and to my survival jobs so that I can make everything work for me. I don't want to get all the money from India or my home country. When I was studying here, I only took my first term installment from my Indian education loan. Every single thing was paid by me and my wife. My wife was working full time, so she also paid a lot of money towards my education loan. But together, we both paid off all our tuition as well as our living expenses while living in Canada. We did not get anything from the education loan that we took from Indian Bank. So that is possible. In 1 year or in 2 years, you will finish your program and you will graduate and get hired in the same field. Why is that important? So that you can actually get your PR. To get your permanent residence, for example, you start with health administration and you graduate from that program. But by the time you get out of that program, you are thinking, you know what, I want to work as a dental assistant so that I can give my exams in future. Breaking news for you, if you do your program in health administration but you work as a dental assistant, then those two do not match with each other, and that would slow down or complicate your immigration process, your permanent resident status, or application for permanent residence in Canada. So please try to get your job in your field of study and give your best shot in the studies during the program. Do a lot of networking, find out how that entire career works so that once you get out of it, you get a job, and give your best in the job so that you get it as a permanent job or full-time job, not as something for 6 months or 3 months to get my PR and then I'm out of it. So try to have a better positive outlook for all this entire thing, because this is going to be 2 to 3 years of your life. It should not be just a waste of time for you. It should be something very productive, something that can reshape your entire thinking, entire mentality, entire life journey overall. So once you finish your program, you get hired and in the same field, and now you apply for PR and you settle down, work in your field for 1 year, 2 years, pay off your education loan, buy a small condo or house where you can rent out and live comfortably, and try to find out a good spot for you where you are relaxed and feeling like now you are home, now Canada is home, and you can start thinking about, do I really want to become a dentist, or I'm just okay doing the current job? Maybe you are. So many people actually are okay in their current jobs and they are just being pushed by their parents, by their spouses, by their friends, or by people randomly like, oh my God, you're a dentist. Oh, you should go back to dentistry. That is the only thing you should do. No, you should do what you like to do, what you're comfortable in doing, what makes you a little bit happy. You do not have to do dentistry because you were a dentist in India. You do not have to redo it. You have to do dentistry only if you really want to do dentistry in Canada. Okay, so you might take a few years, 1 year, 2 years to settle down, and then you will ask yourself, do I want to become a dentist? If the answer is yes, then you might end up quitting the job, how I did. I also quit my job, my full-time teaching job in the community college as a professor in School of Business. I quit that job so that I can start my DDS journey. I gave my AFK exam, I got a good score, I got into the DDS program. If I wouldn't have got into DDS program, I would have given my direct licensing exams, which is ACJ followed by NDECC. And if I was successful in both, then I would live happily ever after as a dentist. But if I do not become successful, I can go back to my new career I did my master's in education, so I could become a teacher. You could do some other program or whatever you like, and you can go in that new career and live happily ever after. So this is not a bad pathway and bad timeline at all. Again, I'm giving importance to immigration versus dentistry here. The third one is that secret path I told you for the visitor visa people, those who are able to get a visitor visa for Canada, and that comes for 10 years, and then give exams. So you are not flying here at all. You are staying home, but you are flying to and fro for exams. So you get your visitor visa for 10 years. Then you study first you register for NDECC, NDEB application portal. Once you are registered, then you will study for AFK exam, then ACS exam, then NDECC exam. You study for everything from your home country. But you fly to Canada to give all these exams. You give these exams and you go back again. All this time, maybe it will take 1, 2, or 3 or 4 years. But once that time is done, you will eventually get a license to practice dentistry in Canada while sitting back there in India. The cost is same. Whether you are in Canada or you are in your home country like India, the cost of this entire licensing process is same. If you live here, then you are paying $2,000 for an apartment, so much more for other kind of conveniences. While if you are at home, you're already making money as a dentist and you already have a place to live and a place to practice. So you actually end up spending less in this path compared to the pathway when you move to Canada and give all these exams. I'm definitely positive about this, that even if you have to travel 3, 4, 5 times for these exams, you are still saving a lot of money and a lot of discomfort by doing this route. Once you finish this and you get your license to practice dentistry in Canada, then you will apply for associate positions. Some people will say that you might find it difficult to apply for these positions. Trust me, if you have this thing in mind that you do not want to work in big cities only, you are happy to work in rural areas, you will definitely get a very good, solid job offer to practice as a direct licensed dentist. So it is definitely going to happen. There is no way somebody would not give you a job offer. So I'm 100% sure you will get your work permit status and you can work here as a dentist, and within a couple years or within 6 months, or actually maybe as soon as you start working as a dentist, you can apply for permanent residence and you will definitely get a PR. So I'm not doubtful. Some people doubt on this thing that, oh, what if I spend all this money and all this time and they don't give me a PR? They are definitely going to give you a PR if you become a dentist. There is no doubt in that. And once you do that, you can live happily ever after as a dentist in Canada. But are you still going to be happy here? Because probably you are a dentist here, but then you don't like cold. You hate the -10, -20 degrees every day. You hate the snow every day. And you are like always cursing, oh, I was so happy in my home country. Like, for example, in India, in Mumbai, I wanted that 40-degree temperature outside. I hate this -20-degree temperature. I hate my life. How good is that? That is useless, right? So that's why going back to my first part, which was talking about your decision to immigrate, is so important. Make sure you do a correct and very solid decision. Write it down so that all these good points and bad points that you have written would never go vanished in your memory somewhere. They are on the paper. Stick it on a wall or save it in Google Notes or save it in your OneNote, save it in any electronic journal so that you always go back to it. So this was all about timeline. I know it was a long video so far. I'm going to finish it in the next 5 minutes, but make sure you subscribe to this channel, share this video with somebody who is in the same path, and hit a like button so that others can also benefit from this information. Maybe it's your cousin, maybe it's your friend who's always talking about this, but they don't know what exactly needs to be done. Here is one video with every single piece of information for you. Number 4 step is checking out all the alternative pathways, which is very important. If not dentistry, then what else? Then you can have something related to dentistry. Some people are stickler this way. They are like, I can do anything with dentistry. I cannot do anything else. Answer is no. You can do whatever you want. You have completed the most difficult program in the entire world. This is one of the most difficult and most critical education that you have gained. Then you can actually learn anything. You can learn anything in the world. It's unfortunate that some of us, even I, never had a chance to work in any other position in my entire life except dentist. But this does not mean that I cannot do anything else. I can do anything else. What do you choose to do is the question. So if you want to stay in dentistry, dental assistant is an option. 1-year programs. So many places will accept your application, but PR process or actually study visa process is going to be a trick for you. So make sure you choose this wisely. Number 2 is dental hygienist. If you get your study visa approved and you definitely get your postgraduate work permit out of this program, then yes, dental hygiene is a very good route. Third is dental technician. It is not a very common program offered to international students these days, but if you find one, then it's a great option. And fourth is receptionist, which is definitely going to work out in either dental clinic or any other kind of healthcare clinic. You might end up getting this receptionist or administrative assistant or clinic manager positions. So medical office administration, dental office administration are great programs. If you want to step out and do a master's program, then master's degree in health administration, public health, health informatics are great. But any other, this is like, I don't know why everybody's stuck on these degrees. Even I was, when I was doing my research. And that's why I want to tell everyone, these degrees have nothing to do with your dentistry career. It does not, like, since you have done dentistry, does not mean that you can only do these 3 programs. There are so many options available. Like I did master's in education. My friend has done music business program for 2 years at NSCC, being a dentist from India. So there are so many more options available for you. But just try out whatever attracts you. Check out my other videos where I'm talking about different MHA programs as well as different options available for foreign trained dentists or any other person. So there are all these options if dentistry does not work for you. I come to the final stages of this thing, which is my final assessment. Now you ask yourself the same question. What was the reason for immigration in Canada? And are you prepared for all that it takes to solve that purpose? Please do not jump into this decision because one of your friend who was in your class is now a dentist in Canada and buying a Jaguar or a Ferrari. That is not a good reason to become a dentist in Canada and start this entire process and disrupt your entire life. Find out the real motive, real source behind your inspiration, because if you have that real motive, then this entire journey will be smooth for you. Then because you have such a good motivation, because you have a goal, because you have a focus, this entire process will not be so negative for you. Those who are just looking at someone else and making this decision that, hey, he did it, I can also do it, and they jump into this process, they disrupt their life. So make sure you ask yourself this question many times and get good answers and write down those answers. Lastly, I do provide one-on-one counseling or career advising. I'm not official or immigration consultant. I do not do anything with immigration. I will never fill out your paperwork. I'm not affiliated with anyone. It's just that I was giving this one-on-one advice to so many people that I had to stop that thing. But then some people really need my advice, and they have a different kind of scenario. They have something different going on in their life. If you are one of them, then you can book a 30 minutes personalized advising session with me. It's 30 minutes, and I look at your story beforehand via email. So I give you an appointment. It's usually weekends only, and I look at your story. I try to find out all the information around it, and when we meet in that 30 minutes, I try to answer all these questions. I do not fill up any form for you. I do not give you any guarantee. I do not give you admission to anything. It is just speaking with me if you need it. Otherwise, I have already given all this information in this video, because I do not want you to come and do this 30 minutes meeting with me for a couple $100, because you don't need to, unless something really crazy is happening and you need my advice on those kind of things. Then I'm here. But as a dentist, I have some commitments too, so there is a fee for it. You can go down in the link in the description below to book an appointment with me for a one-on-one career advising or dentistry advising session. I hope you like this video. Please share this with at least one of your friends and let them know that there are so many amazing pathways that probably they didn't even know about, and how can they start their journey from B.D.S in their home country to Canada. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Sam from Teachodontist, and I'll see you soon. Bye.